Module John Madden. My new nickname in Mexico as of the last 3 months has been Juanito, which I just picked up and ran. And here in Acoma, where I've been for 3 months, everybody calls me Juanito. It translates as Johnny. I'm John, and Johnny was my favorite childhood nickname, so I love it. Yesterday, I was commenting on a podcast I had heard with Kelly Corrigan, an author and podcaster whose work I like a lot, and her work on Brave Conversations has really influenced me. But yesterday on another National Public Radio podcast, she said something that I wildly disagreed with. She said, some things just suck, and to try to pretend they don't makes everything screwy. And I just disagree. I agreed with her when she said it's terrible to tell people, look for the silver lining, buck up. No, let them suffer. They got to release their trauma. Some things really hurt a hell of a lot. And some things you never get to know what they were about. But there's somebody pounding. So we have to put up with that. Some things you never learn what they were for. But my spirituality is two positions. One is that all of life is connected. And two is that life is intelligent. It's always sending us exactly the experiences we need. Or in the words of a young artist I interviewed recently, it's bliss or lessons. And if it's not bliss, really dig for the lessons, but maybe only after you have released your pain enough. But she says, no, some things like my mother's death just suck. And I don't agree. I don't think there are bad things. I think the original sin of Adam and Eve was to eat of the fruit of the knowledge of good and evil, meaning deciding they were smart enough to decide what's good and what's evil. I think that's a mistake. We just don't know. So, armed with that, I then made videos where I teased about don't test God, and whatever God is, I don't think God's a dude, not a person, but something. And I think the big divide in the world is people who have a spirituality, who really trust in a higher power, and those who don't. And I feel real sad for my friends who don't, because it's a very direct experience for me. I know moment to moment that I'm held in the light. And I thought, oh, gee, I wonder if Kelly doesn't. It's possible she doesn't have a spirituality, or I haven't found it. It didn't show up in that podcast. So I was saying, don't test God. Don't say, well, I left my walking stick in the little park behind the Colectivo bus yesterday and then forgot to pick it up when I got back from Tulum. If it's still there, God, that'll be a sign that you're on my side. No, that's bullshit. And the whole business of the movie The Secret, which has been so wildly popular, about engineering your life with the power of your intention and positive thinking. No, don't strong-arm God. And one personal growth facilitator that I liked an awful lot, he said, do I think you can create things by the power of your will and your thoughts and your intentions? Sure. That's the bad news, because I'm not smart enough to know what's supposed to happen. My vision is always very limited and flawed. Life, God knows better. I'll reserve that shit for manifesting a parking spot. I'm willing to do it there. So all that. And so I was teasing about overreading and saying, wow, what were the odds of that happening? Well, 50-50. I will say that. What were the odds of that coming up heads? Well, it's 50-50, man. Awesome. I'd like to tease about that. Oh, that was awesome. But some things are. And just an hour after my comments and my videos about Kelly Corrigan and don't challenge God, something happened that was like, what were the odds? That was such an incredible synchronicity. And what it was 4 days ago, I was unceremoniously fired from the restaurant where I've hung out every day. And that's in a lot of other videos. But the potentially really terrible thing was I got the bum's rush in the middle of settling up my bill for 3 weeks. They had been letting me run a tab, and I finally got my monthly check and was paying. The explosion happened in the middle of all that, and the restaurant owner, who was so mad at me, said, "You owe $3,300, pay it and get out. Don't come back." So I was reeling, and because I actually like her a lot, I was working real hard at don't hurt her, don't be mad at her, don't do anything nasty, make this as seamless as you can. So I said, okay, good, I'm going. I never thought the question, was the tip included? Because the woman, the owner of the restaurant, knew that I was going to pay Guadalupe, my server, 6 days a week for 3 weeks, pay her tip 20%, which is high in Mexico. Usually the only top is 15 in Mexico. A lot of the card machines won't go higher than 15. But I wanted to pay her 20, and she knew that. And I had teased about, you've been really great, we're giving you the 5%. No, she knew. So I did not know that she hadn't gotten the tip. And she's leaving. Today is her last day. And she's going back to her town, retiring at 62. Well, because I was in the spot where I was at the time where I was downtown, I've never seen her in town aside from when I was at the restaurant. But I did. There she was. And she was not mad. She was not blaming me. But she said, I didn't get a tip. And she doesn't make a lot of money. It's been the slow season. It's been the hot, rainy off season. So a lot of times I was the only client in the restaurant. So she hasn't been making a lot of tips. And the 660 pesos, that's 20% of my bill, is not going to get her a trip to France, but it's significant for her. I said, oh, wow, I'm so sorry. Wow, let's make good on that, because I don't have that kind of cash today. But Marcos, who's helping me launder my money, my credit card isn't working, and he's helping me get cash out of my credit card. He's going to give it to me tonight or tomorrow, and she's leaving. She was left several hours ago for good. So I had to get to her by 2:30 today. And I was able to. So that was like, oh, God, you arranged that good. I don't know how you pulled all those strings, and I don't know how you operate it all, but you're pretty good. On a good day, you're awesome. Yeah. So thank you. Gracias a Dios. And when I saw her and gave her the money today, she's really happy to be going home. She's got her whole family in another town, and being 4 hours away from family for a Mexican is a big deal. She goes home every weekend. And Mexicans, I've learned the hard way, are high touch with family and close friends, but not with the gringo they've known for only 3 months. So the one time I offered her a hug, she said, you gringo, you don't understand. No. But today she spontaneously gave me a hug, and it was sweet. It was lovely, perfect. And it almost didn't happen at all. So gracias a Dios.